Hey, welcome to our weekly update. Joanna Wright here, founder of Bottom Line Wealth, and I really wanted to talk about the market today. I'm in the middle of doing my 5-day challenge. I thought I'd pop in over here. We have a special place that we're doing that over in another Facebook group. However, just so, to keep it so I can get to everybody. Anyways, it's the update on the market is, rates are up, gas is up, prices of houses are going down in a lot of areas. I don't know if you guys have noticed, it's not this complete market going straight up anymore. So the feds have really kind of hedged it a little bit. And now some prices are coming down. I teach my clients to, watch the market, watch where their particular market is, because each state is different, right? It's different across the nation. And let me see here, make sure that's going live. Yeah, oh, got it. Okay, great. So I just want to make sure I'm still with you guys. Anyways, it froze a minute there. But anyways, gas is up, rates are up. They're printing more money, right? Like this economic downfall is really happening. My dog, here you go for a Facebook Live, right? He wants to be a part of it. Anyways, so we're definitely in an economic downfall. I mean, how could you not say that we weren't? Not that I'm saying you are, but I'm just saying it's you're watching them print more money, you're watching them give more money to other countries, and a lot of people are suffering here in the United States. And a lot of investors, they're watching the Federal Reserve hike those rates up, and we're going, okay, it's time to pivot, right? You guys got familiar with in COVID to go pivot, right? To people had to go from the office to home to be able to, stay at work. They pivoted and made some things happen. In order for kids to go to school, they had to pivot and do Zoom. All of a sudden, everybody was a Zoom professional, right? So I just want you guys to understand that it's just another pivot. It's just another pivot. So the world's not coming to an end. You could still do real estate investing and have fun with it, because I love to have fun. And if you're not having fun, you shouldn't be doing this stuff. This is what I've been doing for over the past 20 years. And it just lights my world up in many ways. The first is helping a seller, right? The first is helping. So this is how I started. I'm like, oh my God, I just made this happen for this person, and they're super grateful. Like they gave me flowers, like they're so grateful. So that lights me up. And then when people started asking me, well, how did you, gain all these properties? How did you build your wealth? How did you make those millions? How did you, like how? And I'm like, okay, well, let's put the training together, right? So you guys get it. And so I created this 5-step training to help people see my strategy, how I do things, right? And so I've been in an up market, I've been in a down market, I've been in a sideways market, I've been whatever, so it's just pivoting right now, right? So right now I'm doing this 5-day training, and I'm just watching the ahas. I'm watching them light up, right? And one of the things that I really wanted to get across was like, how does the market affect your real estate strategy today? So I got to tell you, as soon as the rates went up, there's a lot of investors that had to pull out of their properties that they had in escrow. I have a lot of investor friends, and they're like, no, we had to pull out on that one. We had to pull up on that one. And it's anywhere from single family residences to like 100-unit multifamily. So there's a strategy that works for whatever you're looking for. And when the market changed, it no longer worked. And this is what we call the Bur Strategy, right? So someone bringed it, the Bur Strategy. And basically all it is I bring people back to the basics of real estate investing, not all these fancy names, the Bur Strategy, co-wholesaling, hexagon, whatever the heck it is. And I don't even know. There's people make up all these names. Anyways, there's only 4 exit strategies. There's buy and hold, there's wholesale, there's fix and flip, and there's money lending. Those are the only things you get to do in real estate, the exit strategy. Now we've done all these acquisition strategies. We've coined them all these different ways. However, so I'm saying the Bur strategy, you can do the same thing with single family as you do with multifamily. And that's kind of where that came from, right? Is you buy a property, you rehab it, you rent it out, and you repeat, right? Buy the property, rehab it, rent it, refinance it, and then repeat. That's the 5 steps. I always miss them are in there somewhere. Anyway, so that's the process. Now you can do it with single family or you can do it with multifamily. It works all the same. But here's what changed. Here's what changed. There is a rate hike. So when you're doing this, you make your money when you buy. That's why I always focus on your exit strategy, which is buy and hold, wholesale, fix and flip, and money lending, right? So this is a buy and hold strategy, the Bur strategy. And it doesn't make, you make your money when you buy. You make your money when you buy it, right? And it's, when you purchase it, you need to know that the rates are going to change. You need to know that it's going to be, I mean, you have to plan for, a good hike, right? Which might be 1%, which might be, 1.5. It can only go up so high, so fast. So you need to know how fast you're going to close. So I do have a client who was in a property. She signed up for it in November of last year. And they're just about ready to do some things now. She's been in the escrow all this time. And it was locked up in, permits and all kinds of stuff. But everything's changed. So now the numbers don't make any sense. She's in a completely different market. Now, if she had done it and completed it within like a 6-week time frame on that market, it would have been fine. But now the numbers that she worked are no longer valid. So prices have gone up, rates have gone up. So things have completely changed. So that's why I'm saying the Bur strategy is kind of out right now, unless you plan for that rate hike. Okay, you have to plan for the worst case scenario. And you can still do real estate investing, but you just have to pay attention to what steps going where. Where's the market turning? How fast is it turning, right? To make those decisions. You don't stop doing investing. You just, okay, now here's this market. Now how do we work this market, right? I mean, back in 81, it was like 18%. 18% was the rates. Like nobody stopped doing real estate investing. They just did it at 18%. I know it's crazy, but it's true. So I did wholesale in a very declining market. After 2008, everything just went, right? Super declining market. Wholesale was my friend. I learned how to do it in a very tough market. And, before that, you just put a number on your forehead and people paid you back in 2003 and 4, and you did a deal and all of a sudden you just held it and then made 20 grand. Well, we kind of went through that again. There's a property I looked at in Florida that was it was 7 something, or rather, I thought it was a little too expensive. And now it's at 1.2 million. Like if I just held it for that little bit of a time, I could have made all that equity. Crazy, but it's true. And that's what a lot of investors did. It's an advanced investor strategy. If you can hang on to property and not do anything with it and make that money, then go for it. But for my newbies here that are in my 5-day training, and they want to make sure that what they're doing is going to work in today's market, right? So for the newbies, you've all had it easy in the past decade, the newbie wholesalers, right? It's, just been an up market and you're like, okay, well, I was going to make 10 grand. Now I can make 20 grand because everything's, gone up. But when you're in a declining market, it's a whole lot different to do your numbers. And that's actually what we covered today in the 5-day challenge, was how to know your numbers, getting out of analysis paralysis, so that you can, make the deal work. So I've experienced the ups, I've experienced the downs. I have a ton of real estate investing education, and that's what I'm trying to pour into my participants in the 5-day challenge, because I've been hearing this for the last few years, right? And this is why I kind of got on this soapbox and started doing coaching, is because our economy is changing. AI is taking over. People are losing their jobs. The pandemic just made it even more evident. And so you have to prepare for not having your job, really. That's the bottom line. And if you're an entrepreneur, you have to understand that maybe you got COVID and you got sick and now you can't be in this camera and train people, or you had a stroke like my landlord did. Those of you that know my story, is my landlord had a stroke and she could no longer function. And she used her real estate assets to pay for her long-term care, subsidize it. So you have to have these assets, this wealth strategy in place, because the world is kind of breaking off into two, and they're trying their darndest. The government is trying their darndest to make those that are weak dependent on the government, and those that are rich, if you will, that, they have the tax strategy and they understand how wealth works. If you don't understand it, you're going to be on the poor side, right? You're going to be on the broke side. And I use the analogy of the Titanic when it was sinking, because our dollar is sinking. And everyone got on something that floated. Those that could got on something that floated, right? Some immediately went into the ocean right away and passed on. And then others got up on the whatever they can float on until they were saved, which was very few. And that's kind of how our economy is working right now. So you need to get on something that floats, right? And that's real estate. I don't care what other assets you're into right now. Real estate is the number one asset out there. And if you read tax law, right, it's being an entrepreneur and having real estate assets is the biggest tax advantage you can have. They encourage you to have a small business. They encourage you to have assets. They give you tax breaks for those. So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? What, you're not educated? Get into my 5-day challenge and get educated, right? I have questions, pop your questions in the comments. Need to jump on a call? Book a call with me, right? So just type it in the comments or send me a DM, and I'm happy to help you guys out. That's what I'm here for. That's what you're in the group here for. We all have different strategies that we're working on. I've done multiple single family, multifamily, commercial, storage units, money lending, wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold. Like every one of those, I can give you my experience on over my past 20 years and help guide you, right? Instead of Google tubing and trying to figure it out for yourself, get a plan, book a call, get a plan. I'll put the link in the comments for you, or you can send me a DM, okay? And book a call, get a planning session, say, looking for that planning call so that I can pivot over this economy, all right? So don't wait. Remember, don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. So I'll see you guys on the next training. Y'all take care.